Dead by Daylight is a game about never-ending tug-of-war between an assortment of BDSM enthusiasts and e-girls, with a spider god hired by Slaanesh watching in a cuck chair, where the biggest library of game knowledge known to man can be boiled down to touch greasy generator or cave in the heads of the dickheads that dare litter your forest with their stickers that came from their Hot Topic orders. Now, here for the big question. Is it worth getting it in 2025? Yes! With a teeny tiny fucking massive asterisk. As the killer, it's your choice of sociopath, hyperfixation, and past trauma that makes up the threat the survivors have to face. All the survivors want to do is fix their gens, power up the execute, and get out of here. But unbeknownst to them, they are sick, inflicted with an unknown ailment. The cure? Your own special brand of advanced bloodletting. Work your magic until they're weak enough to get taken to one of these hooks around the map for a quick administration of iron. After 3 turns on the hook, they get to see Dr. Spider God, the best hentai-inspired physician across the trials. Wait, what is the... Oh no. After a while, you're gonna start seeing the survivors you face start to change. Evolving from Claudette self-carrying the corner to Lara Croft with that bullshit vaulting perk that makes my body instantly manifest the symptoms of scurvy. The usual ring around the rosy and waiting for the survivors to fuck up isn't gonna cut it anymore. So you're gonna have to adapt. You'd never know this without playing Survivor first, but for some reason, every killer has duct taped a red flashlight to their forehead to show every survivor where they're looking. This light is called a red stain. Why is it called a red stain if it's a light that moves? I don't know, man. You're gonna have to take that up with HR. Using the knowledge that the survivors can see where you're looking, you can start using mind games. Mind games are basically just using the survivors' expectations against them, like faking going one direction to catch them out and get a hit. They're the key to high-level killer gameplay, and after 800 hours of this game, I barely fucking know them. Another thing you wouldn't know if you never touched the victim mentality button is that the survivors can sense your presence. Kinda. They'll start hearing a heartbeat and feeling the music swell as you get close, meaning they've usually already started running by the time you get to them. This little personal space bubble is called a terror radius, making it sound less like you're a murderer and more just a crack addict throwing his own shit and the survivors just don't want to be within your lobbing range. Actually, that's kinda accurate. But what if we didn't have to worry about that? That's where you need some undetectable, or oblivious, his little brother, I guess. Undetectable is a status effect that just completely removes your red stain and terror radius, leading to you catching people with their pants down more often. Honestly, if you just want to jump scare some people or get some unfair downs, Undetectable is the cream of the crop. The one I love and hate the most is Hex Plaything. Any killer who runs this perk should get kidney stones. I love it.
Please save me, I cannot pay for a hospital bill. I am stuck like this for the rest of eternity.
Speaking of which, there's a secret rulebook known to every Dead by Daylight player. And if you don't know about it yet, a very mentally stable survival player will kindly let you know. It's pretty simple. Don't tunnel, which is just targeting one person until they're dead. And don't camp, which is sitting around the hook like a There are probably more rules after that too, but at some point it becomes less like a rulebook and more just like a frantic message written in blood and running eyeliner. But the first 2 are pretty reasonable. People want to play the game and get their chance to win. Win with honor. Don't be a bitch. But keep in mind, the rules are just imaginary. You don't have to follow them. Who cares what they think? As long as you win, right? As long as you feel good. Who cares what they have to say? They're the reason you need to tunnel anyway. That's what you might think if you're a fucking idiot and can't have fun unless you're winning every game. So, like the average COD player. Hey buddy, I heard they released a new SMG and it's meta. Go fetch! Also, turns out, after years of not being able to communicate with the killer, the survivors have figured out their own kind of version of sign language. And no, it surprisingly isn't a mix of grunting and scent marking they're generated. If I was going to go through the entire language, I would need 2 hours and a vigorous list of over-the-counter medication, but the basics are, if they wave at you, it's a sign they want to be chased. Dropping their item at the exit gate is a sign of respect and that you played honorably. And teabagging at the exit gate is a free invitation to show up at their house in the middle of the night. I know my survivor gameplay is shit, just assume I was drunk, because I probably was. Switching from killer to survivor is like going from MMA to Rock'em Sock'em Robots, in the way that it's way more casual, but people still find a way to take it way too fucking seriously. The basics of survivor is pretty easy. If you aren't currently doing one of these things, you're the reason you're about to need dentures. The objective of the game is doing 5 out of 7 gens, then opening the exit gates. Seems simple enough, but then you remember the 6 foot tall Broid Rage PSA hunting you down. Meaning, while the others are doing gens or applying Lightning McQueen band-aids, you need to have at least one guy retard wrangling. It's less selecting who should start the chase and more just the first unfortunate fucker the killer comes across. Meaning, you have to be good at both running the killer and holding mouse 1. The latter being a task that's somehow too hard for every group I play with. Running the killer mostly consists of riveting tasks like running in circles, jumping through windows, and smacking their head on pallets. If you want to be extra fancy, you can singe their eyeballs while you're at it. I wouldn't worry about the long-term effects of that. The killer's brain is probably already the consistency of yogurt. But like all things that seem simple, there are people that make their whole personality being good at it. Meaning you'll have groups that insist you only run meta perks, always bring red add-ons, and know the clock maps. If you encounter a meta sweat, remember to point and laugh at them for taking a casual game way too seriously. But just because most of the community is greasy enough not to need water while using a slip and slide, doesn't mean you should play alone. Solo queuing is the equivalent of being a cameraman on Animal Planet, other than the fact that you're reliant on that lemur being able to run in a straight line so you don't have foreign objects inserted into you. Smart enough not to use their shit as a projectile, but also a person who doesn't consider being in a Rust clan having a social life. Fun fact. You can tell a lot about a survivor by which character they pick. Like how Ashes will sacrifice themselves for the team's success, Steves are born out of wedlock and will make it the killer's problem, and if they pick any of these, they have the personality of a paper plate. Any complaints about these takes can be submitted to my Discord. Oh wait. You don't have that right. As a survivor, a lot of your match's vibe will be chosen by the killer's choice of disability and place on the spectrum. From the first moment your teammate calls out who the killer is, you'll probably have a good feel of how the match is gonna go. For example, a nurse means that looping isn't gonna be a big part of the game, and you're gonna have to be a lot smarter with your movement. And the Legion means you're going to have to apologize to your teammate as your router suddenly becomes airborne and you're sent back to the main menu. But the choice of killer isn't all that dictates your struggle. Sometimes the killer's power might not be the whole story. Huntresses are competitive, but tend to play fair, with the most common build being an aura reading build. Meaning they're a challenge, but they're usually more fun to face. Experienced trappers tend to be chill players who don't care about winning the game as much as getting that weird ass trap to pay off. And Wesker mains come pre-packaged with the drill still stuck to the side of their head from their morning recreation. And you know damn well they're running all general aggression perks. In the end, it's you who decide what you want to put weight on in your games. You get out what you put in here. You can take the game very seriously, focus on getting better and try to win every game, but all that's gonna do is make your enjoyment of the game directly tied to winning. Instead, be better than the comp players seething on Twitter. For example, limiting yourself only to one general aggression perk as killer and instead focus on a chase or info build. Look, you don't need to let people walk all over you, but a shit happens mindset and being able to laugh off your friend blowing up your gen. I'm never playing this game with you again. How are you this stupid? I don't like shit talking my teammates and you know that, but how are you this dumb? You are incredibly unintelligent. You're not getting healed. Get the fuck on the gen. Oh my fucking god. We'll let you have a better time overall. The game also has a pretty fucked up perk system. Just know you will have to spend some money on new characters and a good time grinding to fully unlock every perk. But in this case, grinding just means playing the game, so who cares? Either way, if you're playing Survive, you won't have to unlock as many anyway. I've ran the same 4 perks for months of active play now. Killer mains definitely get the short end of the stick here, but who cares about killer mains, am I right? If you don't have anyone to play with, there are Discords out there for meeting up, and I would definitely recommend it for new survivors. So to sum it up, the game can be stressful, boring, and infuriating, but it's also some of the most fun I've had in a single player or co-op game in a long time.
Let's make the most of the night.
We're gonna die young. Each trial becomes its own small story as you adapt to what's happening and who you're facing. And with 38 killers right now and constant updates and balancing, I'd still recommend you pick it up. I just want to mention real quick, I have a Twitter now. I made it just because it sucks waiting 3 months to talk to you guys directly. This might sound a little weird, but genuinely, thank you guys for 3K views on my last video. I know it sounds weird to thank people for something that small, but to me, who has always gotten 30 views to 100, means a lot. And I saw a lot of good comments on that video too. Negative comments have never affected me, but the positive ones really do get to me, so thank you guys for that. Special thanks to Fab, who you'll see in all the 2v8 clips and also pretty much all the Survivor clips. He's the one that really drove me back into playing this game even when I felt burned out, and he's pretty much the reason this video exists at all. I know this video took ages, but if it's any help, I did like almost half of this video in one day by working from night to morning to night again. That's why I might sound a little loopy, a little kooky. Also, I've finally broken free from the delusions. I'm gonna stop trying to say that, oh, I'll do something different on this channel. I think I've just put in stone now that this channel will only be for game reviews, and maybe I'll start a second channel somewhere down the line for the other stuff. Well, that's pretty much it for me. I really hope this video does better than the last one, even though the last one in my standards did really fucking well. But yeah, thanks for every like, comment, sub, whatever. It helps a lot when you're small like me. Trust me, I read every single one of them. And have a good day.